Hi, my name is Kerry Hunt and I am the course tutor for the BSc in Applied Animal Behaviour, which we sometimes abbreviate to the BSc AAB, so apologies if I do that, I'll try hard not to. So I've been a lecturer here at University Centre Sparsholt now for many years, and prior to that I worked in industry in zoo education and zookeeper roles, and before that I did my Masters in Animal Behaviour and my BSc Honours degree in Zoology, where I had a focus on behaviour. So that means that I do a lot of the sort of behaviour teaching across a range of courses, including our Applied Animal Behaviour course, our Applied Animal Science and Animal Management courses, zoo biology and equine courses as well. Talking about a range of different species and a range of different topics, but all related to kind of aspects of behaviour and welfare wherever possible. So our BSc in Applied Animal Behaviour course sits within the higher education faculty, and within that we've kind of got course relevant kind of areas. So the Applied Animal Behaviour course sits within our Animal Science and Zoo Biology kind of subject area. So as part of that, when you are in for the block weeks for the Applied Animal Behaviour course, we have access to resources from the National Zoo Academy, which is kind of represent a range of different post-16 courses all the way up to master's level courses, and we're able to utilise the same facilities as them. So an example of that is the picture of the lemurs up on the screen. So we've got the two individuals there. We have a large animal management centre that our students use in their block weeks for a range of species. So the current first years have recently been in, and we were down doing work with the zebu, alpaca, rhea and donkeys in their first week. We will also then further on in the course do bits with some of the cats and dogs and some of the small furry species as well, things like our rabbits and rodents. We are in the process of investing a lot in our facilities here for our animal management centre, including the building of some new facilities which will increase the capacity of our centre hugely and increase the range of species as well, and the range of kind of thesis research opportunities we have with those animals. So I'd suggest keeping up to date with our social media accounts to find out more about how that development is progressing. So this is some information about a study that one of our Applied Animal Behaviour students, one of our Applied Animal Behaviour graduates, has recently published. Because we have quite small class sizes, it's really nice in that you get to know us and we get to know you, and so we do endeavour to keep in contact with our graduates once they've left us and gone out into industry. So Nikki, along with one of our previous colleagues here at University Centre Sparsholt, Dr. Lisa Riley, published back in January 2020 Nikki's BSc Applied Animal Behaviour thesis project in the Applied Animal Behaviour Science Journal. And Nikki was looking at how well dogs respond to verbal cues issued by an artificial agent. So one of those sort of, I suppose the nearest thing to it would be sort of the cameras that allow you to talk to your dog and then release a treat. It's not exactly the same because this is something that Nikki had actually developed and patented herself prior to starting on the course, but I think that's the closest thing I could probably relate it to. But if you want to know more about what Nikki did and what she found out from her study, then please do Google the title and you'll get to read the abstract and find out a little bit more about what she did. We do, wherever possible, encourage our students where they've collected this sort of novel data to publish it. So whether that's in journals, we've used industry magazines as well, or taken it to conferences as a talk or a poster. It's a range of different things that can be done in order to get that research out there, add to our graduate CVs, and also get them more connections in industry as well. I'm really pleased to say that Nikki and Lisa are continuing this research as part of a PhD project for Nikki currently. So more on the actual degree itself. So the Applied Animal Behaviour is a top-up degree, so that means it's just the final year of a BSc Honours degree. So that means kind of entry requirements wise, we're looking for something equivalent to those first 2 years, so something like a Higher National Diploma, Foundation degree, or a Diploma of Higher Education within a suitable subject would what we'd be looking for entry requirements. If you're not sure what counts as a suitable subject, then I'd suggest dropping us an email so we can kind of talk that through with you and clarify, being the easiest way to go about that. So whilst it is the final year of a top-up degree, this is actually a 2-year course, as it's a part-time course. So you'll do half the credits in the first year and half the credits in the second year. This is via a blended learning approach. So that means that you're on campus face-to-face for 4 block weeks in the first year and 2 block weeks in the second year. And in between those block weeks then, your learning and your development is supported by a range of online tasks on our virtual learning environment. Our virtual learning environment that we use is Ledge. If you ever used something like Moodle before, it's really similar. And obviously, if you start on the course, we'll talk you through how to access everything in that first block week. Those block weeks are dotted throughout the year, so every kind of couple of months. It's not 4 weeks all at once, so that we have kind of assignments and these online tasks in between. So module wise, whilst we have a equal split within the credits, you'll see that we do more modules in the first year than we do in the second year. It's because the modules in the first year are slightly smaller modules. They don't have as much weighting in them as the second year modules do. So we have very descriptive titles for most of our units, our modules, sorry. So when I read out the title of the module, you can probably have a pretty good guess at what you will be doing for that module. So in year 1, we have Animal Communication Learning and Training, which not too surprisingly covers various aspects of inter and intra-specific animal communication, areas of learning theory, and how that can then be applied to training in a range of species. Pathology, domestication and anthrozoology then is looking at those human-animal interactions, in particular humans and domesticated species, and how the process of domestication of those animals might have influenced their behaviour. Mechanisms of behaviour maybe isn't quite so clear from the title, but that's looking at the underpinning physiology that will impact on an animal's behaviour. So looking at things like the nervous system and the endocrine system, how hormones will influence the behaviour that animals show. Ethics, welfare and law, again, fairly obvious from the title. We're going to look at aspects of legislation with regard to animal keeping and ethical and welfare considerations alongside that. Assessment wise in the first year will be a range of different methods, including written assignments, so essays, reports. We might undertake a few case studies, might ask you to do some presentations as well, and at the end of the year there is a couple of exams. In year 2 then we do a human psychology and clinical practice unit, and that's taught by our sessional lecturer Helen Jarrett, who specifically comes in to teach on the Applied Animal Behaviour course. Helen is a certified clinical animal behaviourist, and the rest of the time is running her own successful behaviour clinics, working with people and their dogs. So we're really lucky that she comes in, and particularly on this aspect where she's talking about, you know, those interactions with the client and understanding the client's needs and requirements and what they're telling you, even if it's not what they're actually saying, so that you can get the most effective and best kind of training in place for that animal. And then in the second module then is your dissertation and data analysis. So project wise, it is up to the student. You can do your project on any topic that interests you, but we would support you in developing that into a suitable methodology. However, we will also provide you with a list of projects that are either ongoing. We've got a few kind of long-term projects that we're doing in collaboration with external partners, or just areas that we're really interested in seeing a little bit more research on, which you can pick from, or you can come to us with your own idea, as I said. There are a few examples on here of previous dissertation projects. So we've had studies looking at if dog behaviour should be part of the national curriculum for young children, which was particularly concerned about them understanding dog body language to try and reduce the number of bites to small children. Obviously, Nikki's project that we looked at a minute ago, impact of owner attachment on their dog's behaviour and what sort of training is undertaken. And then a survey-based study that was done last year, which looked at the impacts, what impacts the likelihood of pet owners seeking advice from a behaviourist. So what sort of things might be barriers to people using a behaviourist, or what things influence how they choose which behaviourist they're going to access as well. So in a second, again, some case studies, obviously that thesis project as well, and a few other assessment methods there. Because there is a large focus on the dissertation in that second year, that's why you're then only in for 2 block weeks, because you're going to have to use more time then to maybe undertake that data collection, so it gives you that bit of flexibility there. I think those are kind of the main points on the course that I think you need to know for now, but obviously if I've missed anything, or if there's a question you have that I haven't covered in this information, then please do let me know. Easiest way to do that is to